Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the animated movie, Ron's Gone Wrong.
This film is set in a world where kids can now befriend each other through Bebots that look like Baymax, which are basically walking, talking Kindles that look like teeny tiny Baymaxes or mini Baymaxes.
Yeah, pretty much.
However, Barney is the only kid who doesn't have one.
Of course.
That changes on his birthday when he finally receives one from his dad and his Nana, only to find that it's heavily malfunctioned, and that's when the fun really begins.
Yeah, that's where the title Ron's Gone Wrong comes in. Before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get some future podcasts and more pause videos.
Yes. We ended up watching this movie because when I saw the commercials, I said, that looks like it's going to be fun. It looks like it would be fun. And Rascal was like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, let's give it a try. And I'm glad that we did because it ended up being one of the funniest movies Disney Plus has had up this year.
Yes. And when we first saw it, we didn't really recognize where it was from. They had got from 20th Century Studios, previously known as Spot, and they had a new animation company called Locksmith Studios, Locksmith Animation. So it was different to see a whole different studio do a movie for a division of Disney, and it wasn't even like any of the others that you know. So it was kind of refreshing to see some new designs put into it as well. And for here, it is a huge comedy, but what they don't advertise it can be, actually was partially a drama when it gets like close to the end of the movie, because it's about 2 hours. Like, let's put them making 2-hour movies. When it gets towards the end, it starts having a bit of drama in there. So it's still, I don't think I would call it a dramedy, but there is some heavy stuff going on towards the end of the movie. But before that, you still have lots of hilarious antics going on.
Yes. And it's important for him to get a Bebot because he doesn't think he has any friends. He has some friends from childhood who they've distanced and they're not close anymore. And with the new kids, he's being bullied and made fun of.
Yeah.
And not being beaten up, but he's being verbally bullied.
Yeah.
And ridiculed.
Right. They kind of don't deal with him because he doesn't have a Bebot. And I was like, what?
And then his name is also Absalom, which you don't find out until he gets the Bebot. You think his name is Barney. And then when it was registered, his name, his full name, his real name, not his nickname, Barney, is put in. And we were like, Absalom, why on earth? And then he keeps calling him that, not Barney.
Right.
And that's where the first Ron Gone's Wrong comes up.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, it's when he takes him. It gets activated.
Right. And how he got messed up is that originally he was okay, and then through a sort of
through the law of attraction.
Right. When the truck that had him kind of stopped, he fell out of the truck and got cracked on the ground as they decided not to sell him. So the dad kind of got him from a back alley and just bought that and gave it to the son. So when he activates, the pod blows up, he's slow to charge, slow to restart, his eye falls to his...
Rascal kept laughing at that over and over, his eye just falling down.
He buffers, he stutters, he's got, connect me to the network. Like, what network?
And all the other Bebots that the friends or the kids have at school, they have skins, you could say, where they can personalize them.
Yeah.
All different colors and costumes and things, and his is just white, like Baymax, just white. That's just white.
Yeah, and he couldn't load anything, do anything, connect to the internet or anything because he was pretty busted. So he kind of was doing, when it was time for the friendship part, he was doing everything physically as if he was on the internet. So it was kind of funny, like if you did the likes or you commented or you shared, you want to be friends. He literally did all this stuff physically.
So if you've seen Voltron in the pilot movie, you know how Keith has the board and he makes all the little notes and is connecting everything.
Right.
Well, that's what he does to teach.
Ron. Sorry.
Yeah, to teach Ron. Yeah.
Yeah, about friendship. Yes.
And it's so funny. You see all the connections. It looks like a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And it's him teaching him how to be a proper Bebot.
Right. And Ron is pretty much upbeat the entire time, even when it starts having the heavy moments and things, or he starts running down. It's very hilarious because he just says things that are just factual or what he thinks are factual, and he doesn't have a problem saying just about anything. Like there's a scene where Barney's getting bullied, and they were kind of saying, and one of the kids came and said, when they were kind of making fun of Ron, they said, oh, you know, Eric, you stupid robot, or you drill bit or something. He hits it, and then it kind of went out of Fritz, and then he said, oh, you're a stupid robot, drill bit, and he punched him back, and the whole time he's terrorizing the bullies.
And what was really hilarious is him acting like this. The kids wanted their B-bots to act like Ron.
Right.
Not like they were manufacturally set up. And then he kept asking Barney, am I your best friend? Am I your best friend?
Like,
am
yes.
I your best friend? Am I your best friend? I'm your best friend. Am I your best friend?
It's like, wow, you really are broken. Like a little broken record. And then, like, the concept for the B-bots themselves, it looks like they were really inspired by the Mitchells versus the Machines, where they had the PAL robot, and they were kind of having where everyone could have their own, instead of like an Alexia, they have literally their own gigantic robot with them. So they kind of took that concept and made the entire movie, only in here there's no robot uprising.
Right.
And it's just little robots been...
Well, actually, technically, kind of there is toward the end, but they don't make the decision to have the uprising. Someone actually programs them to have an uprising.
Oh, that's true.
They start leaving everyone's home.
That's true. And it was kind of funny. They were really inspired, like really instantly, because as soon as you see it, the setup for it, where the movie starts, you immediately know it's the Mitchells versus Machines, and it's Mark Bowman. It's obvious what it is. They even made the guy look like a mixture between him and Miles Morales. So they've been watching some Sony movies lately.
And it's obvious that this is taking place in another country, but they're speaking English. You know when you see the background and everything that it's not the U.S.
Yeah.
And you find out that a lot of the animation things took place between Canada and somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it's obvious that in this universe, it's not the United States.
Right.
All the characters speak English.
Right.
It's also multicultural, even though it's not taking place in a multicultural country, they made it that way.
Right. And throughout the movie, like, there's a lot of laughs throughout it, and like it said, with Ron's idea of what friendship is and trying to bring it all to life, and he's just happy about everything. He likes to repeat a lot of things. Like, he keeps telling Absalom, my name's not the Absalom, only because he said, like, we went through a list, like, okay, that one. And it's like, but that's not my name, and then it is. And throughout the movie, it's like you're kind of liking the message of what friendship is, because after a while he realized he's only been teaching him how to be a friend to him. Right. It's like it's supposed to be one of the main things is like friendship is a two-way street, and then he realized he's only been teaching him how to be a friend to him and stuff he likes. And it's like, well, this now, friends, are you don't like every single same thing at the same time. You do have your differences. You do like different things. Sometimes you will love the same things, and that helps. But it doesn't have to be like you don't have to like what this person likes and nothing else. So they were kind of making a little bit of commentary on about like how some people react when it comes to things like with movies or comics or heroes, villains, what have you, and people have no different opinions. And it went from being, oh, okay, you don't agree, that's fine, I like my favorite, but you're allowed to like yours too. It becomes now, well, if you don't like it, well, now I'm going to swear at you and call you an idiot and all that because you didn't agree with my opinion or viewpoint. And it kind of would touch on that in this movie where, you know, internet wasn't a bad thing, the social media wasn't a bad thing, and having friends online wasn't a bad thing, but it didn't hurt to, you know, actually take the time to know the person too, to really become friends, and also be friends offline too. So I kind of like it wasn't the standard internet's bad message in it.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because there's one hilarious thing I have to tell you before we go, and it's a spoiler, but it's so funny you have to hear it. So
okay.
One of the girls that he goes to school with, that he used to be friends with, she has a social media page like YouTube.
Right.
And she doesn't have, of course, as many likes and views as she wants. And then there's this scene where all of the B-bots form a giant B-bot because his kids tell
B-botron.
Yes. And then she ends up falling from the top and falling through the bottom, so it looks like she got pooped out. And then she said, oh no, he pooped me out. And she becomes Poop Girl. And she ends up having 40 and 50 some million views. And now she thinks her life is over, but it's so hilarious because they keep coming out and go, poop.
That's how it happens. And that's really how these things happen when it's online. It just trends. It's like
and
the
someone and took a picture and uploaded it.
Yeah.
No, it was. I'm sorry.
It was a video.
Yeah, for her own channel, and then she didn't want it up there, but of course it had been shared. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
And then she was upset because she was Poop Girl, and
And,
instead of her taking it like, okay, now I'm famous, now I got what I want, and Russell kept saying, it'll just go away.
Yeah, because eventually.
But she didn't want to do that. She
Yeah.
wanted Poop Girl to go away.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, eventually those types of things will eventually die down, and then they'll come up as like a Hall of Fame thing later. But yeah, give it like a week or something, and it would have been like onto the next things. But yeah, that was hilarious.
Hilarious parts in there. So if you've seen Ron's Gone Wrong on Disney Plus, let us know what you think in the comments. If you haven't seen it, again, it's available on Disney Plus for the regular subscription rate, and we guarantee you're gonna love it. It starts off kind of slow in a way, but then once it gets going, you're gonna absolutely love this movie. You're gonna laugh all the way through the end, and you're gonna wonder why you didn't watch it sooner.
Yes. So be sure to like, subscribe, and notification for the future podcasts and all the pause videos.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much for watching. I'm Ask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace. Am I your friend? Am I your friend? Am I your friend?
Stop it!